Hey, Halloween is coming up. Witches will be flying. Vampires will be biting. Oh, vampires. One of my favorites. What happens? They come out of their grave, but only at night. And they have this waxy pallor. They have the protruding teeth. And they have this tremendous fear of light. What's going on here? Well, sometimes it's interesting to see whether or not these folkloric tales have any kind of scientific basis. Well, it turns out that there are some scientists who believe that the vampire legends arise from a human condition known as iron deficiency porphyria. This is a condition where iron, which is a part of hemoglobin molecule that carries oxygen around the system, is not functioning properly. For some reason, iron doesn't get embedded in hemoglobin, and iron is needed because that's what attaches to oxygen. So it turns out that in iron deficiency porphyria, because you have a lack of hemoglobin, you would develop a white, waxy pallor. The breakdown product of red blood cells, porphyrins, build up in the system, and that makes you very sensitive to sunlight. So indeed, a vampire would not want to go out in the daytime. But what about their fear of garlic? That's pretty interesting. Well, garlic, of course, has many, many compounds in it, but one of its components has the ability of removing iron from red blood cells so that the surviving blood cells of a vampire would then be destroyed by exposure to garlic. Probably a little bit far-fetched. But the science of garlic, of course, is not far-fetched. Garlic is very interesting. It is probably the most widely used health food in the world. It has a long history. The Egyptians apparently fed garlic to the builders of the pyramids to give them strength. In the 1950s, an American food faddist named Adolphus Hohensee believed in the therapeutic properties of garlic. And he had a rather interesting way of using the garlic. He said that a clove of garlic should be inserted into the rectum at night as a suppository, and in the morning you'd have garlic on the breath, and this was proof that it had worked its way through the system and cleansed it. I'm not quite taken by that one. But we know that garlic juice was used in the First World War, rubbed on wounds, because there's a compound in it called allicin, which acts as an antiseptic. Of course, antibiotics are better, so we no longer use garlic as a rub on exposed wounds. However, there is one rather interesting area of garlic research. It has an antithrombic effect, meaning that it can reduce the chance that blood clots. And that, of course, may have some effect on reducing the risk of heart disease. So putting garlic into your diet is a good thing. Of course, there's a price to be paid, garlic breath. If you take too much, you get a burning sensation. But a little bit of garlic in the diet, I think, is good. And I do that. And I cook with garlic. And you know what? I have never been visited by a vampire. And I'm aware of them, especially this one. This is the one that we normally think of because he is in the image of Bela Lugosi. Now, I pronounce that well because I speak Hungarian, and Lugosi was of Hungarian origin. And he, of course, was the classic Dracula in the film. And he probably would have not done very well when he was exposed to garlic. But I'm okay with it. I eat the garlic, and vampires have not visited me.